What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, episode 46 of our 24-minute recaps. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review, please, if you would like. Follow us on Spotify, and then, of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Dime Dropper Pod. So for tonight's episode, just one game we watched, the main game on a Saturday night, a windy Saturday night here in Los Angeles. The Lakers and the Heat, a finals rematch. Of course, the Lakers extremely shorthanded without Dennis Schroeder and Anthony Davis. The Miami Heat were without Goran Dragic. So you'd expect the Heat to win. I was looking at it from their perspective as a kind of a must-win situation with the position they've put themselves in early on in this season. First half, though, about as pathetic an effort from the Lakers as I've seen. There was no communication on D. The Heat were catching them on off-ball actions constantly with Duncan Robinson getting run off screens. Bam Adebayo was so good, like just setting screens and then rolling to the basket when he set screens. Duncan Robinson has so much gravity that opens it up for people like Bam to roll to the basket, cut to the basket. For example, I think Olynyk found him a couple times in that first half around the basket on lobs or different things where the Lakers, didn't know if they were switching, didn't know if they were staying. I thought that LeBron set a horrible tone today, the way he played. There were 3 times in the first quarter where he dribbled the entire clock out while everyone's standing there watching him. And, obviously, I think they got to move a bit. But LeBron, oftentimes, he'll get the ball and he'll tell people to space it out. And when he goes, I cannot tell you, because I put myself in these other players' shoes with these guys like Harden, with these guys like LeBron, who dribble the fucking air out of the ball only to throw it to you late in the shot clock because they don't want to hurt their percentage and make you do something in 5 seconds on the shot clock, is the most selfish thing I can see a basketball player do, and nobody calls it out. No one, because they're all sheep. They don't see through it. Are you kidding me? 3 times, guys. 3 times. And then not to mention he was shooting too many threes that he wasn't hitting, and he hasn't been hitting to the same rate as he did the first 2 months of the season. But the funny part is he still was getting his buckets. Like, he was still taking to the basket, scoring some points. Otherwise, this game would have been a blowout. But Kuzma was awesome. I thought Kuzma, even though he also slightly took too many threes, I think the Lakers need to run less plays for him to get threes and more plays for him to get other things around the mid-range area or flow game area. Because honestly, Kuz is showing me that he can hit a different type of variety of shots. The box score tells me right now that he was 4 of 10 for 2 and then 4 of 11 from 3. I guess that's not the worst percentage in the world. However, I just think that some of them were a little ill-advised quick in the shot clock, and I think the Lakers in general just took a lot of threes ill-advised in the shot clock. Look, they took 45 threes. Are you serious? Like, this Laker team's not a great shooting team. And once again, what do I always say, guys? You think everybody likes to make apologies for stars. The thing is, you cannot do that with me because I blame Kawhi Leonard. When we lose with Kawhi, I'm always the first to blame him because I believe that at the end of the day, the star sets the tone. LeBron shot 8 threes. As a result, the team shot a lot of threes. And I think the second half, honestly, was pretty good for the Lakers. Like, they won the second half. It was really the first half where they lost the game for themselves because just too many threes. And I will say that they still took too many threes in the second half. They were just better looks. And I thought Montrezl, he came in and he was getting abused in terms of the points in the paint for the Heat. They were talking about it the whole night. They were getting whatever they wanted. Bam on rolls, the gravity of Duncan Robinson, and just in general floaters. Jimmy Butler as well. And also Wes Matthews in the first half had his head in his ass, both ends of the floor. Jimmy Butler got several offensive rebounds when Wes Matthews just didn't want to box out, didn't want to put a body on him. He came from behind and took the ball and scored on him. And, a lot of times when LeBron, who was literally on defense, just a joke outside of like a foul that he unfairly got in the beginning of the game, and then like maybe one strip later. Other than that, he was like in, once again, no man's land. I don't know if he's just camping for rebounds or what he's doing. His best trait on defense has always been weak side rotation at the basket. He's really good at getting some blocks, picking off passes underneath, and taking charges is something that he's added to his defensive arsenal over the years. However, sometimes he just stands in the middle of nowhere and like doesn't want to move his feet. So like a guy like LeBron will never be guarding a Duncan Robinson. That's too much moving around the perimeter for him. But at times when he was like asked to switch on to guys like Kendrick Nunn, who was freaking awesome tonight, he was getting in the lane, floaters. And there was a couple times where because LeBron had, a couple fouls, one of which was very unfairly given to him, I might add, he just didn't want to contest and was just like rotating, but like just, the slap without a real contest, which is an automatic 2 points. So I just thought he was a pretty net negative on defense outside of talking. Obviously, his communication is good, but the Laker defense without Anthony Davis, like we need to talk about this. Like they look so disconnected sometimes. I know the second half they got better, but he's just the anchor. He talks on defense. He takes up so much space on defense, whether it's on the perimeter. Like he can take one step and it's like he's at another, like he's taking a pass away or he's at another guy. It's like he's guarding two players sometimes with the way he is, how long he is, and around the basket, putting in pick and roll actions, all that. They miss him so much. I thought that Markieff Morris was god awful, exact opposite of the better brother across the hall who's been killing it lately and will kill it again tomorrow, knock on wood, against the Nets. But his brother came in, he was just lost, didn't know what he was doing. 3 threes, 3 bricks, 2 points, -8 on the floor. I thought THT was He made a 3. It wasn't bad. 17 minutes, a little tunnel vision. Caruso offering nothing on offense. But the Laker defense really stepped up. And one positive I think you can take from this game if you're the Lakers. And by the way, just to piggyback off to end how bad I thought LeBron was in the first half, bro was just like, how many times did he got like maybe one unfair foul call, but there was like 3 or 4 times where he just didn't get back on defense. The classic. We've become accustomed to it at this point. But anyway, Jimmy Butler was good, but I'm also, I will give this to one of our subscribers, Johnny Kabede, was pointing out that maybe he's trying to pad his stats. He's starting to turn the other direction. And you know what? I'm not going to go that far yet, but I will say there was a couple times that he have shot and he passed it when he didn't need to, and it wasn't the right play. He had 5 turnovers. Some of them was because of this reason. And here's the thing about Jimmy Butler. The media has completely, and modern Gen Z bots, fans, as I said in the whole summer league, I said in the whole glorified summer league, that the modern fan will not understand Jimmy Butler's greatness. But because of that reason, and because he's not getting treated like a real top 10 player that he is, I feel like now he feels the slight need to be a little more statistical oriented. And I see him hunting assists a little more than before and passing up a lot of good shots. I know he shot 20 shots, but to be honest, he should have shot a little more. He got really good looks. I don't know. I really think that I don't want him to trend in that direction because it seems like we only appreciate guys with stats. But I'm really happy with the way the Heat have bounced back since Jimmy Butler's been playing. They said they've won like 6 of their last 9 or something. But I still think that Jimmy could have been better. I still think the Heat were pretty fortunate. I mean, if Anthony Davis or maybe just Dennis Schroeder's there, the Lakers, as poorly as they played for the majority of the game, would still have found a way to win probably. In the second half, the Lakers turned it up on defense, I will say, collectively. I think Wes Matthews he looked very discouraged, missing threes. And, I will say the positive for the Lakers, KCP, 3 of 5 from 3. Those were huge for his confidence, I think. I think, though, however, because of his lack of 3-pointers and lack of getting the ball, like he just hasn't gotten the ball as much. He's been very stagnant off ball. He usually moves a little bit more off ball, and I think he's gone really stagnant. That's also not helped by the fact that Kuzma and LeBron, both when they have the ball, seem to, at least Kuzma tonight, not in general necessarily, but LeBron for sure, likes to hold the ball a lot. So it's just like, okay, like, sometimes he moves and he doesn't get it, and he's just like, whatever. But I still think KCP needs to try to move more. I thought when Wes Matthews, so KCP made some threes, then Gasol made 2 threes. He was 2 of 6, though. I still think Gasol took some ill-advised threes and overall was just, he was all right. He was pretty good. He was +3, but I just think he took some ill-advised threes. He was better than Montrezl because the defense. Montrezl was scoring down low. He had 18 points, but his defense is just not up to par. He was, Bam gets offensive rebounds over him. You know what I'm saying? So he can always be exploited. But what's his name? Wes Matthews made a 3 or 2. He had a 3 or 2, and then he started playing better defense. He started fighting over screens with Jimmy Butler and making life tough on him. He forced some misses from him, and the Lakers defense really stepped it up. In the second half, the Heat only scored 37 points, so they really stepped it up. I thought that Max Strudel guy, he was chucking threes, though, like crazy. What was up with that? That almost got the Lakers back in the game. They were just lucky that the Laker offense was so bad and stagnant. 1 of 9, 0 of 8 from 3. Tyler Herro's injury didn't help in the first half. He was 2 of 5 with 5 points. But yeah, it was mostly the starters for the Miami Heat tonight. And in the end, it was a very close game. And they were involving Duncan Robinson in a ton of pick and roll actions, pick and pop mostly with their guards. And LeBron was making a lot of better reads in the second half, I will say. Better reads, hockey assists. But the thing is, they forced the ball out of LeBron's hands completely at the end of the game. And the Heat almost threw the game away with that bad pass at the end. The Lakers got a chance. Caruso was the one that got the last shot. It was a long 2. He missed. He was 0 of 3 in the game. Not exactly the guy you want taking that shot. What else? There was a couple. Who got the shot before? I think it was Wes Matthews got a good look. I mean, Kuzma got some good looks too. LeBron didn't even get a shot off in the last 2 minutes. And I know what his apologist fans are going to say, but he was double teamed. Once again, there's 2 logical ways to get out of this. One is called don't ask for the screen. First off, just go one-on-one. Force them to just double team you straight away. And then there's I just thought, here's my thing, guys. It wasn't like, I'm not saying LeBron cost them the game. It was a collective loss. But once again, 7 of 21 from the field. If LeBron's not shooting the ball well, like, obviously without him, they're not going to be in the game. You know what I'm saying? They still won. He still had the highest plus minus of any Laker, plus 11. So you know what I'm saying? Like, they still won the minutes with him. But you can say the same thing for Kelly Olynyk. They were plus 14 with Kelly Olynyk. So that's just strictly looking at it at plus minus. LeBron was 1 of 8 from 3. He turned the ball over 5 times. That's a lot. Especially when no one else on your team gets more than 2. So 5 out of 14 turnovers are from one person. So yeah, it's the same for Jimmy Butler. That's why I said Jimmy Butler didn't play perfect either. So turning the ball over too much. And the body language, you know what I mean? Like LeBron has this thing, and Lucas said it in New York State of Mind, our 5th ever episode. He said LeBron, when he doesn't have like what he necessarily wants, in this case with injuries, he kind of just like doesn't give his all. And like he pouts and like, it's just like he doesn't, everything needs to be like very good for him. Like after his Cleveland days, if it's not like his ideal situation, sometimes he just doesn't give it his all for me. And he gets away with it sometimes, but thankfully tonight he did not, lowering his MVP case from the rest of the world, seeing him tonight play like that. I thought Kuz was the Lakers' best player, 8 of 21, 4 of 11 from 3, 23 points, 4 boards. LeBron finished with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Somehow still getting apologies made for him, though. Wes Matthews with 10. Maybe it'll increase his confidence that he played better in the second half. Same goes for Caldwell Pope. By the way, I want to chime in on one thing. By the way, Bam Adebayo's final stat line, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 offensive rebounds, 8 of 16 from the field. I thought he was really good. Kendrick Nunn was awesome. 27 points, 10 of 14, 5 of 6 from 3, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. So just to end off, I want to say I saw that the Orlando Magic, I'm sorry, not the Magic, the Warriors lost to the Charlotte Hornets. And I saw that it was a 2-point game and there was a scramble on the ball. I'm not going to watch the game because Curry didn't play, but I saw what I needed to see. This man, Draymond Green, was in a scrum. They called either a jump ball or either a jump ball or a timeout. They gave Charlotte the timeout. This dude is arguing so much that he is foaming at the mouth and got called for 2 technicals, I believe. It may have just been 1, but 2 technicals at once. When, once again, all you need to do if you're the Warriors is get 1 more stop and you win a game without Curry, which everyone thought was impossible against a team that's playing pretty well right now in Charlotte, and Terry Rozier, who's playing out of his mind this season. My God, what an exciting team. The Celtic rejects, Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward. But for him to complain that much, and no, everyone's going to say, I see these Warriors fans saying Draymond gets treated unfairly. You have to be smarter. He was saying, fuck out of here to the ref, 5 seconds away from him. Are you kidding me? This is the 2021 NBA. You know how quickly they're going to give technicals? So because Draymond Green gets away with it because of the way he talks normally and doesn't get the same treatment as, if anything, Draymond Green said it on Inside the NBA. He said himself that the refs know how I talk, so they're more lenient with me than other guys. In a situation like that, shut the fuck up and get one more stop. He cost his team the game because of that. I don't care how well he played before that. That's pure stupidity. You know how much I defend Draymond Green about all the other shit he does. I'm always the first to protect, to defend Draymond Green. But that's ridiculous. Keep your cool, bro. You cost your team the game, and the Warriors are in a situation where, you know, they're going to be on the fringe of the playoffs. They cannot be blowing games like that. So disappointing if you're a Warriors fan to see one of your best ever players do something like that. And when I say best ever, that's like top 10, top 15. Probably not top 10. Top 15. Top 10 probably in terms of importance. But disappointing. That's all for me tonight, guys. 8 minutes short. Let me know what you think. Lakers with 2 losses in a row. Clippers, Nets tomorrow. We're going to be live after that. I don't know if I'm going to be live immediately after that. I need to check the schedule of the NBA, but I'm very excited for that. And Kevin Durant's not playing. I saw that bullshit false advertising by ESPN. ESPN's become so cringe now. Like, I can't even take them anymore. Like, it used to be like a sports network that like I looked up to. And like now I don't like, they're so cringe. Every single one of them with their agendas, pushing of stars so blatantly more than ever before. And it's not just like back in the day. It's literally, they just advertise Jimmy times this. They advertise Durant times Kawhi when like Durant's not even, I don't even think he's playing tomorrow. So what a joke. Anyway, I'll be live tomorrow after the Clippers and Nets game, 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern time will be the live. Now we go to the live chat with the subscribers. Peace. All right, was that good enough for an explanation for you guys? Draymond's ranking his career for technical fouls. We'll see about that, Simon. If Kevin Durant doesn't play, we shouldn't lose. Yeah, Kevin times Kawhi. Who do I think is the most underrated legend? I don't think it's Pete Maravich. I think Pistol Pete gets his due for his impact. Yeah, LeBron hit the side of the backboard. I didn't even feel like being that mean. No, wait. 79 Steve. ESPN Plus is good. Like, the content is good. Like, the extras is great. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the way they cover games and, like, the way they cover the sport. Yeah, the revisionist history. LeBron body language after shots is awful. Made shots? Yeah, for the other team. No, Warriors ain't making the playoffs? No, Warriors will make the playoffs. Yeah, Bill Russell. Okay, I'll tell you some of the... Yeah, what's up, Clip Teen 18? Rick Barry. Good shout, Andrew M. I'll tell you some really underrated ones. Nate Thurmond is really underrated. Sam Jones is really underrated. All right. Why aren't we playing Kennard? Ty Lue's been really harsh on him this season, man. He's had a really quick leash with him not shooting shots. What should the Lakers look for in the trading market or the buyout market, in your opinion, Dime? A second rim protecting big. Jared Allen. I don't know, man. Like Jared Allen, maybe? Who you got for Nets Clippers, man? Come on. You think I'm going to bet against my team in a regular season game like that? Not against Paul George and Kawhi. Not with both of them there. Not in LA. Curry is greater than Bron in terms of leadership. I don't agree with that. I still think LeBron galvanizes the troops more. I still have a vocal leader over that. Yeah, but Maniac Lane, the goal is to just make the playoffs this year. That's it. Just this year. For development for some guys, for development of your team, and for Curry to just do what he's supposed to do. Draymond, too. That's the goal this season, man. You get Clay back next year, and then you'll see. With Wiseman, I mean, come on. Because he's clutch. He's a clutch crony now, right? I don't like that either. What's it called? The Draymond stuff. You know any good Magic games I could watch? Hell yeah. Watch the whole 1980 finals. Just watch it from the first game to the end. And you'll get a context level for game 6 that you will not comprehend. Don't watch just game 6 by itself. Watch the whole finals, and then you'll see how ridiculous game 6 is. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to do a video on it one day. But when we get there in the timeline, we'll do it. Ooh, good shouts by Ty Baller. Willis Reed. He may be the most underrated. He may be the most. Because at his peak, he's one of the best centers of all time. Bro, tell me how many players have done this. Regular season MVP, All-Star MVP, Finals MVP, NBA champion. all in one season and guarded Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain in the finals to win. Dime, roll one up. Not for a regular season game. Rag to bitches because his fans. Why does you asking why every free agency LeBron needs help? Because his fans and himself, he's an apologist, excuse maker. He can't take losing, and like he can, but he takes it in a very loser way. Who's grilling Bill Russell? Yep, Simon, you're right. I think Curry doesn't complain as much. Let turnover? Like king of the turnovers? Zach been playing out of his mind. That's right. Simon, remember you have to contextualize the rules. Offense, easier to score now. More ticky-tack. Different game. No defensive 3 seconds. I mean, yeah. No handshake. Alex English is underrated, yes. Brent, that you just answered your own question. Bill Russell the only reason he doesn't have finals MVP is because it wasn't invented yet. They named the award after him. The first year it was introduced was the last year of his career where he won the championship for the 11th time and was the coach and player and played like every single minute of the series to do it. I'm not even exaggerating that. Like basically every single minute of the series. And Jerry West got on the losing team, and Jerry West says himself that was the biggest like shameful thing of his career. Elvin Hayes is very underrated. Good shout out. JoJo White is underrated. Another good shout out. Like, hey, how many LeBron's teams are always known for being stagnant? Every single one. Oh yeah, Corey 2K. I don't think we need to start Ibaka plus Zubac, Andrew M. Dime, do you believe the supposed quintuple double Wilt Chamberlain could be possible? No chance. Greatest loser of all time? Hell no. LeBron's a 4-time champ still. That's not the greatest loser of all time. He's still a winner in the end of the day for me. Some people think otherwise. Some people think he's a loser, but I still think he's a winner. To win, if you're a champion, man, it depends on the way you do it. Some may argue that he's done it a very easy type of way, but still, I don't see that any of his championships have been unfair at all. So Brent, what are you talking about? Tim Duncan is the most disrespected? First of all, Ty Baller, you're talking about Harrell has no excuse to be letting bigs dominate him. You're talking about Charles Barkley, dude. He was another breed. He's another breed. You can't compare him to Charles Barkley. Because, hey, rag to bitches on that DeMarcus Cousins thing, that's just the Lakers, man. Imagine living in LA. It's happened my whole life. Every single big free agent, it's Lakers. They're fans. I do remember those stories about LeBron, the 3-point sniper, Seth. I don't think anybody hated Bill Russell for winning. I just think that the award wasn't defined quite right yet. Tim Duncan, what? He's the top 10 player of all time, not top 20. Yes, the numbers lie. Numbers don't tell the full story. They do lie, actually. I'm actually not a fan of that. I used to say the stats don't lie, but they don't tell the full story. No, the stats lie. In today's NBA, they lie completely. Yeah. No, I'd say, 70s and earlier players are underrated. Facts, Nigel Killian. Brent, you also have to understand, first of all, field goal percentage is not that big a deal when you're winning 11 championships. Secondly, the efficiency was like the lowest ever because they took 100-plus shots. So it's just run up and chuck. Bill Russell wasn't a great scorer, but at the end of the day, man, he was still capable of hitting running hooks with both hands, little 8-foot, 10-foot mid-range jumpers, and he's the best defender of all time, best leader of all time. He's still good offensively, just not a great scorer. But he still dropped 30 points in like game sevens. Like he's 10-0 in game sevens for a reason. So like I would go with the rings over the stats. in that debate. Yeah, Tim Duncan's Tim Duncan is underrated by Gen Z bots. He's not underrated by like people that know basketball. Dirk beats Duncan in what? Jerry West ain't a loser either. Please don't you start that. He's not a loser. You got to contextualize. Elgin Baylor? How many? No, I think that the loser has to be someone who had more clear-cut chances to win or like failed more. Like Elgin, they went to the finals so many times. Well, if Elgin Baylor's a loser, then LeBron's a loser. And that's my opinion. Like to me, it's like if Elgin Baylor's career ended in if LeBron's career ended in 2011, like that's kind of what Elgin Baylor is to me. You know, like he also had knee surgery. Like, I don't think Baylor's a loser like that. Just because he hasn't won. Dirk beats Duncan one-on-one? Doubtful. What? I don't think so. Maybe. I doubt it, though. Kevin Durant? Not a champ. He's a winner. He's not a champion. I don't care what anybody says. He's not a champion to me. Wilt is not better than Bill Russell. Ask Wilt, Brent. Look this up. There are videos and they tell you this. That Wilt cared about his stats. Bill Russell didn't, and that's why they won. Why do you think Wilt won a championship when he dropped his stats? Because he did what Bill Russell did for so many years. No, he's not one of the biggest losers ever. He's not. Bro, okay. LeBron's a loser then. LeBron's a loser then. If Jerry West is a loser. Because he had the same situation for so many years. I'd say Jerry West only lost like maybe one more finals that he should have won maybe than LeBron. LeBron should have won 2011. And 2014, I don't know if he should have won, but he should have done better than that. I guess they shouldn't have won. Jerry West twice he should have won, and he lost. So, fair enough. So, one more than LeBron. That makes him a loser? He's still a champion. He still made it to the finals all the time, while other guys didn't. He's easy. Who am I Who are my top 5 MVP candidates? No order. Embiid, LeBron, Donovan, Joker, and let's go with Kawhi. I'll take Kawhi over Luka, over fucking Paul George. Oh, Curry. I'd say either Curry or Kawhi, 5th. It's really Embiid, though. Embiid's running away. I think Embiid's starting to run away with it. I really hope he just starts running away with it. Donovan's done well, too, though. Got to give him some shout. I don't know, though, but Embiid to me, yeah, I think he should be Embiid, man. Give it to a center. That'd be great. It's been a long time. Bob McAdoo is underrated. I don't think it's Elgin Baylor. Why are you guys hating on Elgin Baylor so much? Because he lost in 1969 and 1970? Like, I feel you, like, I don't know, man. He lost 2 times. Like, I don't know, man. Forget 50s. I don't collect cards, but I have cards, Eric Dang. Nah, he didn't have the better team every time. It's because Russell made his team better. Wilt did not for a long time. No, Wilt had the better stats. Brent, you're being a Gen Z right now. Total Gen Z bot. Stats, that's how you define the game. So, like, I guess LeBron's the greatest ever then. Or Wilt. Come on now. What? Tim Duncan is top 10. What do you mean who's not on my list? It's the obvious. Stop it. What are you talking about? If anything, Kobe didn't play a team like the 67 Philadelphia 76ers in the finals. He played the 2001 Sixers. That's not even comparable. First of all, Bill had to beat Wilt Chamberlain, the first real super team ever. Wilt, Elgin, and Jerry West. I think, Oscar Robertson's not competition now? You guys need to stop with the discrediting of Bill Russ. Like, people need to really chill with that, need to learn more about it. Come on, Brent, I love you, but come on. Stop. Please. Facts. LeBron did adapt. He did. Schroeder is very important. Ooh, Isaiah Thomas is very disrespected. How does Kyrie rank all-time in point guards? Bruh, he's not ranked. Get out of here. What are you talking about? Top 30 if I'm being generous. Maybe. Get out of here. Yeah, thank you, Simon Hossein. Baylor is unlucky. Left in 1972 when they won 33 games in a row. Yeah. Yeah, Duncan would eat Dirk in the post. Yeah, facts. Elgin Baylor is cold in general, Jackie. Yes, Wilt did choke in 1969. I blame the Stars for choking in 1969. Not PG. Paul George. Yeah, right. I agree with you on that. I don't penalize LeBron for his finals record. I just say that LeBron and Wilt, there's not a coincidence that they're the only two players in the top 10 all time that have a losing finals record. It's not a coincidence. I got you, Gabe Gala, from the bigger, faster, stronger. You got to break it down for us. Unlock them codes. Marcus Morris, baby. Facts, Raid. There you go. I would rather be 1-9 than 0-8 or 0-0. Facts. Jerry got a ring, though. Jerry got a ring, though. Thank you, Simon Hossein. Winning should matter a good amount in MVP. The Sixers were comp, Brent. The Sixers were comp. You got to learn more about them. The Royals were comp. Donovan Mitchell should be higher. I agree, Michael Todd. Donovan and MVP should be the front runners right now. You're not telling facts, Brent. You're just talking about stats. LeBron over Kevin Durant. Come on. All time. Walt Bellamy. Good shout. He didn't. How many times did Bill actually beat him, though? Walt Bellamy didn't do that much winning at points of his career. It's interesting to see LeBron in the playoffs without AD. What do you mean? Nah, I mean, Dirk and Kobe would have been cool, but I think Powell and Kobe was great. Bob Pettit. Facts, Moises. Best power forward of all time up until 1970. It's unquestioned that he's the best power forward of all time. I don't know. I think Elvin Hayes, I guess, right? Or Dave DeBusch. No, Dave DeBuscher's not on Bob Pettit's level. I think Elvin Hayes would be the first person that starts making that a conversation in the 70s. But, dude, Bob Pettit was really good. I haven't actually seen any full games of Bob Pettit, though. But, if you look at his – actually, no, I've seen the All-Star games. But if you look at his resume, though, and the stats and what he won, I mean, he's the only person to beat – only superstar like that to beat Russell in the finals. That's very impressive, man. If you beat Bill Russell and Kuzi and Red, that's a big deal to me. That's not easy to do. Salman Hossein spitting the facts. 1967, Wilt sacrificed his stats and won. Thank you. My guy. Are you new, Salman Hossein? Welcome to the club, buddy. You're the right type of fan. You know your basketball. Westbrook best ever on stats. Wilt is a stat pattern for sure, off and on the court. You're funny. He a Gen Z bot. No, see, Spence, casual take. Paul, what's his name? Frank Ramsey's only in the Hall of Fame because of Bill Russell. He was never even an all-star in an area where all-stars are a much larger percentage of the total players in the league. What's another one? What's his name? Satch Sanders was a great player, but he was a Hall of Famer because he was a constant stay in Bill Russell's teams. He was never an all-star. Casey Jones is a Hall of Famer, a lot of because he was a coach and became in the Hall of Fame. So you got to contextualize those Hall of Famers. I'd say the only clear-cut ones you can give him his whole career, Kuzi, Heinsohn. By the way, different times, though. Kuzi, Heinsohn, Bill Sharman, Havlicek, Sam Jones. Those are the five that were the real all-stars. A choker in Portland, Clyde Drexler? Was he really a choker? If you don't, no, Bill Russell has a GOAT. First of all, if you just don't think he has a GOAT argument, that means you don't acknowledge what the sport is about. It's about winning. It's about leadership. It's about doing multiple things, not just scoring the basketball. So to me, if you just don't acknowledge that he has an argument, then you just don't care about winning, in my opinion. Because here's the thing. It's not like he has one more ring than Jordan. He has almost twice as many. That's insanity. That's insanity. Nobody has come close to those Celtics. No one. That's not a coincidence. There's a reason that was the case. Because he was guys, you don't understand what Russell's will to win was, what battles he was fighting off the court, his motivation. He's not for proving people wrong. He's like fighting for survival. There's a difference. You know, he's not getting treated the same as other human beings in the outside world. The fans don't even appreciate the team because he's a black male. These are bigger battles. These go into his drive on the court. Stop. I actually watched him. I watched Bill Russell too. All the games every single game, full game that's available for Russell, or every single footage, I've seen it. And it's very impressive. If you understand, it's very impressive what he does. His defense is next level. And his movement, everything he just does the right things. He's a real team player. Curry does remind me of Jerry West in ways. "2019, Simon, KD over LeBron." That's it, though. Clippers are cursed. What were the Knicks missing in 2010, 2014? I just don't like Amari Stoudemire's injury really hurt them. And I think that when Melo came, it didn't get the most out of Amari. I don't think Melo was a great winner I love Melo as a talent, but he's not much of a winner, in my opinion. He was great, though. I'm not saying he was like a toxic loser or something like that. He still was a contributor to winning. But I just think that he was part of the reason why his teams would lose sometimes. Jack Sikma is underrated. Want Winetta Thomas. You have to Brent, but those are all the teams that he played, basically. You have to understand there was less games, so you just played those teams more. Bill Russell played 30% of his career games against Wilt. That's a huge deal. That's like, imagine if KD played LeBron 30% of games. That would be a lot harder, huh? Than playing against, the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, Durant did have great spacing on those Warriors. But okay, Brent, so your criteria is who you want taking the last shot. In your opinion, then, is Sam Jones better than Bill Russell? Because Sam Jones is like one of the greatest clutch players in history. Like you heard what Bill Russell said if you listen to him. Freaking, what's his name? Sam Jones had the season on the line so many times, and every time he needed to hit the big shots, he did. And you know what's funny? If you watch the games, every time they need a big shot, he hits it. It's kind of insane. He's one of the most slept-on players in NBA history. He's top 5 shooting guard for me all time. Because if he was the best player on those Celtics dynasties, that needs to be acknowledged. He was making all the big shots. He made finals game winners. 2020 Bron is greater than 2018 Bron because of his defense. I feel you. That's arguable. But his hunger in 2018, though, was pretty impressive to me in the playoffs. I don't think the Nets are favorites now. I still got to go with the Lakers. I still need to see them beaten in a series. Michael Todd, the answer to your question is the Lakers need to be the 4th seed if they want to meet the Clippers in the conference finals. No, there was never 5 teams in the NBA when the Celtics won championships. That's a Laker fan trying to detract. Facts, Simon Hossein. Yo, Simon Hossein with these points about Bron doesn't like to rest, so he stands around on the court and rests. Yo, you're the GOAT, bro. Welcome to the channel, G. How is winning easier? Are you saying the chances of you winning are easier because there's 8 teams? The actual act of winning is not easier because if the talent is condensed, that means 3 or so all-stars per team at the top, 3 or 4 of them. Minimum 2, minimum. So you're not have a team like the 2011 Mavericks. There's no teams like that when Bill Russell played. You had to beat those great teams. The East was a war zone when he played. It was hard to win. Like Oscar in the late 60s, Oscar Robertson was missing the playoffs. And he was like one of the greatest players in history. And he was missing the playoffs. And the East was really good. So you only have to beat 2 or 3 teams that are really going to matter. Like last year, did you really think the Lakers were going to lose to Portland? Like, no, not really. you think the Lakers are going to lose to Houston? To be honest, the Lakers, you didn't really think they were going to lose to anybody. There was nobody. It was supposed to be the Clippers, and they didn't meet them. So, like, you're telling me that's harder than what Bill Russell had to do in beating Wilt in a bloodbath? Wilt, Paul Arizin, Tom Gola, what's his name? Guy Rogers. That's the first set, just the first two matchups. And then you played the Hal Greer, Chet Walker, Billy C. Sixers. That's a whole different ballgame. Bill Russell is built different. He's totally built different. I feel you about T-Mac. I feel you on Duncan, too. 2003 Duncan is underrated. As many teams is harder, I feel you, and that's your opinion if it's harder. Bro, but you have to understand. I don't think you understand the difference in the basketball. You're underestimating the teams that he played. You know what I'm saying? First of all, LeBron's East was nothing like Russell's East. Let's make that very clear. Kobe's finals opponents were nothing like Russell's finals opponents. So actually, nah, I wouldn't say that. Kobe's finals opponents weren't very good though. But Russell, when he played against the Lakers without Wilt, the Eastern Conference Championship was more of the championship for him. But here's the thing: just because he doesn't have to play as many teams doesn't make it easier. Maybe in your opinion, but you have to understand that's your opinion. Some people think it's harder to play against teams with more condensed talent. Dude, Hal Greer was beating Wilt with his own team, him and some other guys with Syracuse. So when they're on the same team with Chet Walker, who's like easy 20 and a Hall of Famer, and then you have Billy C, who's a fourth guy, they were stacked with a Hall of Fame coach. Like, come on, get out of here with that. Oh my God, ZZ Visions, you missed a good win. No, LeBron, not because he got injured, Simon, because he stopped trying. He didn't try. You guys excuse the poor performance. Excuse makers, man. You're hanging around your brother too much. J Love, stop it. Stop it. Just count all of them. Just count all of them. They were bad on defense time? Who was? Who was bad on defense? You talking about the Cavs or you talking about LeBron? Yeah, Drexler made the finals twice before winning in 95. Not a choker. Sidney Moncrief was great on defense. Dikembe Mutombo. That is facts. But you know how that works when LeBron dominates the ball and then he comes out and there's no one else in rhythm. Sam Jones did hit a bank shot. Pull up left. Yes, a good point, Simon. Schroeder is crucial to Lakers when LeBron sits. I mean, I'd say easier to game plan, but at the end of the day, it's like they get to game plan for you. So it's like it goes both ways. This only is relevant if you have a team with some absurd, unfair advantage. But like, that wasn't the case. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, Ty, I think you're standing up for them. Okay. Of course, LeBron would have more rings if he played more off ball. That would change him as a player. That's one of LeBron's biggest weaknesses that no one talks about because nobody cares what happens off the ball. They're just staring at the ball. Of course it would. He's terrible. He's only gotten better lately at just like late cuts, but he's not good off the ball. He stands around. Miami, he was the best. And he won 50% of the seasons he was there. Shocking. When LeBron buys in is when he's the best, which is when he plays for teams that are not the Cavs. Facts, Simon, about 1960s. Ha, Michael Ta. Yeah, Johnny, facts about the casuals. I'm not into that clutch scale. I'd say he's like a 7. I'd say he's like a 7. I'm saying 7 for his career. I'd say now at this present moment, like an 8. Like an 8 clutch. Facts, Ty Baller. Now, Kobe's finals once weren't good, but Kobe's conferences were tough. 50-win West, like a ton of 50-win teams. Like, he got tested. Like, those were tough. They just performed great. Yeah, Dirk's comp in the West was really brutal. That too. That West of the 2020, I mean, the West is still really good. I just think there was more quality teams. Now it's like more spread out, like just less weak teams. Now you got guys like the Pelicans who are like not an easy win, but no, you guys make so many excuses for LeBron in 2019. That shit's annoying. LeBron didn't get calls? Get out of here, man. You like how I'm spending more time with you guys tonight on a Saturday night? Dirk is not better than Duncan. Get out. No way. No, in no one's criteria. Like, you can't be. You just don't know Tim Duncan well enough. Lakers need a real point guard now. So now you don't have enough? Is that what I'm hearing? Facts about the superstars and ticky-tack calls, Michael Ta. Oh, one-on-one. You think Dirk beats him one-on-one. Yeah, but Salmon Hossein, didn't he beat the Lakers, though, in the route to that championship 2003? What is the greatest version of LeBron? I would honestly have to say I have to rewatch, but just talking about his career, I think my favorite was 2017 and 18. I just think that he was the best mix of IQ, relentlessness, scoring, like real, like mental confidence. That was his confidence peak, and that's my most important thing. Confidence, IQ, experience, skill offensively. The only thing lacking, defense, effort, and he was two ball dominant. But that was partially because of the situation he was in. But I think he could have definitely gotten his team involved more. I mean, that team was predicted to be a really solid like core that bounced back from Kyrie. And then the Isaiah Thomas trade didn't look very good because he was injured for a big portion. Obviously, also a ball dominant guy, LeBron. Yeah, didn't help that. But then he got the whole half the team traded for his personnel that he wanted. JC and Jay Crowder left and all that. He got the team gutted for his, and they did better. George Hill, like all these guys, and yeah, he still put him in a box. That's the one thing I didn't. I tried to act like he did it by necessity. He totally did it by choice. Those players weren't that bad. He made them look bad. Which era of my basketball is my personal favorite? I think the 80s and the 90s, but I'll tell you which one out of those two when I get there. Not 2016 LeBron. 2013 LeBron is a shout, though, because he was best both ways. Not Iguodala Finals MVP LeBron. No, the best front court ever is Parrish, McHale, and Bird, Simon. Simon, just because Kobe was favored, that means that it was easy? He was favored because he got the number 1 seed. What you mean? Yeah, LeBron was too scared to go one-on-one against Adebayo. He did take him sometimes, though. But Bam had a nice block. No, 3-pointers? I guess so. KCP. I don't think the Lakers' major problem is just health, honestly. With AD, they'll be fine. Do they make the playoffs if Dell Demps doesn't leak the trade? No, because I'm not motivated. I'm not going to make an excuse and say that's the reason why LeBron stopped playing hard and that killed the chemistry, all that. No excuse. You got to get the job done, man. Get the job done. They were playing terrible teams. That's what you're not acknowledging. They were playing terrible teams. So all these excuses can go out the window. The teams with players load managing, teams with AD being set out the whole season, shitty Eastern Conference teams, teams that had more injuries than them. So that didn't have LeBron on the court. So no excuses. I think they make the playoffs if LeBron doesn't get injured. I think that's the if. Where should Boogie go? I don't know. Dirk did it without Hall of Famers around him, so Jason Kidd's not a Hall of Famer. I don't know about all that. Thank you, Peter Kariuki. Is that a what flag is that? Man, that's an African flag, I'm pretty sure, but I don't even know it. No debate, Johnny? I mean, I feel you on the efficiency. I think that his tough shot making in 2018 was better, though. And I do value tough shot making. I still think LeBron was limited in 2014 very easily. But I guess you're talking about 2013. He was pretty damn good that year. I just don't think you should say no debate. I feel you on your argument because the defense. But I don't think it's no debate. Yeah, but usage is not time with the ball in your hands. A lot of it is like it's like some I thought usage was just ball in your hands, but it's not. It's like a combination. It's like it's an equation. It's one of the equations. It's like shots go into it, and field goal attempts, I'm pretty sure goes into it. Like, yeah. Like Michael Jordan has a higher usage than LeBron, but whenever I watch him play, he doesn't hold the ball as long. So yeah. Yeah, LeBron was an athletic freak of nature in 09. I think James Harden's top 10 shooting guard, yeah. 2020 LeBron is not the same as 2013 LeBron. Salmon. There's a reason he averaged 39, though. There's a reason he averaged 39, because that was the game plan of the Magic to let him go. But there was 3 games in that series that were close. 2 games in that series that were close that he failed to win. And then second half of game 6, he fizzled out. I got to rewatch that series again, but they were there for the taking. The Magic were. If you remember, sometimes it's back to that Wilt stuff. Sometimes it's not necessary for you to do so much. I mean, Raid, that's the same as all the other great players. I know LeBron's got that, aura about him, but like, dude, it's still LeBron. I would love to apply that context for the others in history as well. I know the media pressure hasn't been the same, but I don't know, man. I think that if he's supposed to make your teammates better, then you can't give me that. It's one or the other, or both, or no, it's not both. To me, it's all 3. You have to acknowledge my side of it too. He is the most scrutinized. Yeah, whatever. You can kill him for his gambling. He got killed for his gambling back then too. Obviously not as much, but that's not. I bet you players today gamble and bet, but like not on their games. Facts on the Bill and Wilt Ty baller. No, but they weren't. Once again, they had an advantage, Johnny, over other teams. I watched the games. If you don't think the Lakers should have won those games, you're just making excuses. You really are. You're totally making excuses. I watched them play against the Grizzlies without Conley, the Grizzlies without Gasol and Conley, the Pelicans without Anthony Davis, the Knicks when he got blocked by Hazonia. I watched these games. The Clippers, you know what I mean? Our best player was Lou Williams. Like, total excuses. These were close games too. They were there for the taking. He was still a Hall of Famer. Jason Kidd's experience. Don't act like Jason Kidd didn't help. Kenya. That's what I thought. Thank you, Peter. Oh, my goodness. Now, yeah, LeBron, part of the reason that chemistry is ruined is because of LeBron. You're trying to blame the GM of the other team. Thank God social media didn't exist. No, I got Sam Jones in that, Johnny. Gary, let's not play that game. Favorite player to watch this season? Kawhi? I don't know. I like watching Kawhi. All right, guys. Yo, Ben Wallace. Why is okay? So I don't understand. Ben Wallace. I mean, he was older, but Ben Wallace is like old ass Ben Wallace. But in '07 with Chicago, he's not old ass. And then he's okay. He's good. You know what I'm saying? And then '06, he's good. Like I just think that we get a little we exaggerate. We exaggerate with LeBron's Cavs teams big time. A lot of revisionist history is done with them. I'm never saying that he should have won a championship with them, but there were some disappointing moments for sure. Last year's Lakers, the Rated Warrior, they were hungrier. Raid, I thought that the last dance was really good. I thought that the Lakers Celtics one is better per minute. I think this one was just better because it was 10 parts, but the Lakers Celtics one was the best. I don't think we forced LeBron to be MJ. They marketed him that way. They put a lot of pressure on him, but he's bought into the narratives and he wants to convince us that he's the GOAT. And that's what's annoying about it to me. But LeBron has been LeBron. I mean, he's made his own path. He's made his own impact in the league. I don't think that can be taken away from him. Thank you, Maxwell. Facts. Giannis has a great mentality. He's just not skilled enough, I guess. Yeah, Kawhi has also become a diva in a bit. Uncle Dennis may speak for it. May have been Uncle Dennis, but Kawhi still, it's still his representative. So, yeah, it's not just Gasol, Lakers' problem. I wouldn't say he's not physical. I just think he can't get off the ground. Yeah, no, Braun didn't even just live up to the hype. He exceeded it. But Magic had a lot of expectations coming in the league too. He was the golden boy. And then not Michael Jordan as much. Michael Jordan, like right when after the first season, like during when they gave him the shoe deal. And Kobe had big expectations. Shaq had I mean, LeBron had the biggest. I'm not denying that. LeBron had the largest expectations of any player ever. But I think there was other guys that did too. I mean, Kareem came into the league as like the next. They were calling. Have you seen his first game? They're calling him like the next Bill Russell. Like they're like he's the next biggest. Like he's the greatest high school player in history. Like, hey Cameron, I made a preseason Wizards take too. No, last year's Lakers were hungrier. You can see it. Can't you see it? You can't see it? When you don't have a championship, you're hungry. Oh, Bad Boys 30 for 30. That's a good shout. What's up, Jonah? THT. I mean, he's gotten more minutes and, he's a rookie. He still makes rookie mistakes. Yeah, Kareem had huge expectations. I don't know who should pick up Boogie. I've gotten that question a bunch. Do I think LeBron has a GOAT argument? I think he has a GOAT argument if you really care about stats, like a big amount, and you don't care about winning. If it's winning based, then he should not be your GOAT. He has zero argument. Zero. You think Kareem and Moses Malone were LeBron's level expectations? I don't even think they were. I think LeBron was in like another level of expectations. Kobe had some big expectations, man. And so did Magic. Number one pick. They just won the championship, Michigan State. Melo was pretty big, but not as much as LeBron. But Jordan, after like the first couple of rings, then he started getting really big expectations. And then you have to admit, when he came back from baseball, the spotlight was so big. That was a lot of pressure. No, I don't got OnlyFans, son. I don't know about Boogie, guys. I really don't know. I said Wizards would be the 8th, a 7th seed, I think. Yeah, I was definitely giving Westbrook too much stock, for sure. Zion, yeah. Andrew Wiggins and Ben Simmons and Lonzo were big, too. Big. I don't know about for sure, Michael Ta. You're ignoring other players that have arguments to be better than LeBron. I don't know about it depends also, it all depends on how you define it. If you're talking about career, like resume, like looking at a piece of paper, then yeah, top 5 unquestioned, maybe top 3 unquestioned, maybe. But I'm just talking, if you're talking about just straight basketball players, the top 10 is very hard. They're all really good. Yeah, LeBron's career isn't done yet. Facts, 89 Pistons. Lou Alcindor. No, Simon, you're talking about winning first. You're talking about winning only. You're saying if it's winning only based. I'm saying if winning holds the most weight, then to me, if winning holds the most weight, I'd say Jordan, Russell, or Kareem. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, Magic has a pretty great one too, but he just didn't play long enough, I don't think. But he won. He almost won half the seasons he played. Shaq is overrated. I agree by a little bit. I think so. Or rebounding, Simon. I don't have Clippers underwear. I don't know if that exists. No, you don't. Not just because of his dad, Johnny. You don't understand how big the Ball brothers were here, man. I don't know if it was how big it was over there, but here, dude, the Ball brothers were a big deal. Like throughout their high school, it was very rare. Three brothers at once. Maxwell, you're a funny guy. Yeah, I know about Jordan choking in game 1. Not 95 finals, 95 second round. Incompetent owner. Yeah, that's facts, but he still gave him some. Dude, those Cavs teams were not terrible. They weren't championship, but they were not terrible. He improved the team every year. They did. They just couldn't get any big signings. They got little signings. That's a pretty solid top 5, Johnny. That's not bad. It's pretty damn good. I love your top 3. I feel you, Monte Ellis and David Lee. Do I think Wilt could have played for longer? If he did have knee surgery, he fucked up his knee in 1970. I'll always have a bias for LeBron since I grew up watching him. I feel you. At least you admit it. I don't think so, Simon. I think that you're twisting it a bit. If winning holds the most weight, for sure, Bill. I mean, you talk about the difference in era context. That's somewhat relevant as well. I'm not saying Bill's rings are worth less, but it's different eras. But yeah, my opinion though, if winning does hold weight to you the most, like that's the number 1 factor in your list, then I think Bill Russell should be like top 3 for sure. Like what Johnny said. I honestly don't think that if winning holds the most weight to you, I really don't think that anyone but Kareem and Jordan could be argued over him, to be honest. I really don't. If winning is number 1 out of like all the things you list, if it's number 1, nah. Because then you just don't know enough about him otherwise. Because I love Magic Johnson. I love Larry Bird. But if it comes to winning, yeah, I don't know. It's hard over Bill. Because he didn't have any flaw. Like, he didn't have any blemishes. Like, he didn't fuck up. That's the thing about his resume. He didn't mess up. Hakeem got a word. Nobody could stop Shaq in the modern era. Are you crazy? Yeah, Wilt had nothing else to prove. Shaq did play against somewhat bad bigs when he won. That's facts. Coach of the year right now, Tom Thibodeau. Shaq has the best prime of any big man? Maybe. Still debatable, I think. Most dominant prime? Maybe. I want to give Dime my dream shake. You're funny. Hey, LeBron made him a shooter, though, Salmon. That's what K-Love said. He makes people change their game for him. That's how he is. Moses, I don't know, Andrew Webb. Popovich for sure. Jeez, you guys are here for sure. Bringing up great topics. Appreciate you, Michael Ta. Yes, Johnny, I think he does. Kawhi becomes a greater than KD and Steph if he wins with the Clippers. I really do. Winning with the Clippers can't be understated. Winning with the Raptors was one thing, but the Clippers, no, you don't understand. People have said that that's never going to happen. Dominique Wilkins is underrated, in my opinion. Best coach ever is tough. It's either Red Auerbach, Phil, or Pop. Most improved player is Christian Wood. I think Julius Randle deserves some shout, though. Julius Randle. What's your Twitter handle, Max Valencia? I love Dr. J. He and I went to the same college, man. Thank you, Michael Ta. What do you mean he was essentially a small forward? You're saying he was too skinny? Get out of here. He bodied people sometimes, and he definitely had switches, and he definitely, you can hit turnarounds without having to bully people. You don't have to bully people every time. No, I don't know about a tattoo of the Clippers. I'm not answering that question, Simon. There's no such thing. I don't know, but modern era requires you to do almost everything. I think that's BS. I think it just requires you to guard players of multiple sizes for the most part. I don't think it requires you to do nearly everything. Yeah, Kareem, Duncan, and MJ really did have some great careers. Very little blemishes. The sky hook, get out of here. Phil Jackson, definitely best coach ever. One of the candidates. Facts. Duncan was one shot away from 6 rings. No, Shaq didn't play in this era, Johnny. The sky hook, man. Mike Tyson. All right, guys. So let's get out of here, huh? So next season is episode 1 gonna be the Smush Parker? No, it's gonna be the Oscar Robertson, the Chauncey Billups, or Dime. I wore number 1 every season I played any organized ball, so that's my number. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow for the Nets Clippers.